Paradox wants to know if you think the greatest threat to our humanity is currently our overpopulation. If so, what kind of solution can you think of besides having a good old-fashioned world war?
I think we're a little past the point of wars being advantageous in that context. We are too commercially and socially interdependent in isolated communities with limited resources and a limited geographical area that may have been advantageous at one point in time. But do I think that that's the biggest problem facing us? It's a component of all of the greatest problems that face us. But it is probably the most surmountable of them. Our disagreements and our stubborn refusal on many of our parts to accept progress, science, anyway. I have a dream that, and it'll probably be the Asian countries that lead the way on this, but there have been plans for pyramid cities, centralized concentrations of population, bringing us back out of the suburbs, bringing us back out of the rural areas, vertical farming, everything centered in one place, and basically let wilderness take back over a lot of the area. I don't think we're even close to outstripping the ability of this earth to provide the resources we need to survive. Our utilization is just awful, absolutely inexcusable. Vertical farming and re-centralizing population will open up the rest of the planet to sustain life, to sustain the atmosphere. We face a lot of challenges and things could go down the shitter. There's no question about it. But I do think we have options. And as I mentioned before in speaking to Marm, I believe, I think our destiny is beyond the confines of this planet. So it's getting through to that point. So there's your non-answer.
Cole Anthony asks, what do you think makes for a lasting relationship?
Once you get past the establishment of a relationship on compatibility, assuming that you've done that right, I think what makes for a lasting relationship is a willingness to endure and transcend the rough spots. People don't tend to have lasting relationships the way people used to, and I'm not even saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Sure, a lot of people were in long-lasting relationships you could have called successful by that measure alone. But if somebody is basically destroying the one life experience they have by committing to something that makes them miserable, then it's not such a great thing. On the other hand, the great things that do come from lasting bonds, relationships, are too oft discarded in haste. And that's basically what it comes down to. You really need to push through those things. What can I say? I'm 40 years old. I've been in a 9.5-year relationship that shouldn't have lasted that long. I followed my own advice a little too carefully there. And that's my longest. I'm in the midst of an almost 5-year very happy relationship now, and I plan to follow that advice again and for a lot longer. Both parties have to address things in the same way. and have patience.
Paradox wants to know what advice you could offer to someone in an unhealthy relationship who doesn't seem to understand how poorly they're being treated.
I would say that someone who doesn't seem to understand how poorly he or she is being treated probably actually does on a subconscious level. How to be a catalyst for the more conscious realization to bring someone to the point of action is probably impossible. But the advice that I would give, like in hopes of planting a seed for later, and this is really touchy subject matter, due to the, relative to the professed consensus of members of this community, it's been a point of contention. Keep your eyes open. I would tell someone to keep his or her eyes open for opportunities, because I think only a positive opportunity can really break that cycle, can snap somebody out of the drudgery. I was in a relationship for a long time, and I don't feel that there was any intent to treat me poorly. But I mean, road to hell and all that happy horse shit. If it wasn't for the fact that something, and it doesn't necessarily have to be another relationship or somebody else who catches your eye or steals your heart. It could be an opportunity to go someplace else, a job, anything. But I would tell that person, I would advise that person to be on the lookout for new adventure, just in case.
Alright, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of this username, so do correct me if I'm wrong. But Maznag would like to know, if you could have one supernatural power for one day, what would it be and what would you do?
For one day. That probably changes my answer from what it would be if I could just have one forever. I think, the one that I would choose forever would be body jumping, being able to leave my own body and take over someone else's at will. But I don't think that's what I'd do if I just had one day. The things I'd want to try to do, I'd end up wasting my time trying to get behind the scenes of the White House or something. A single day. If it's a warm day, so self-indulgent and not all that creative at all. But if it was a nice day, I would fly. And I'd hope that I could fly fast. And I would cover as much territory as I could. And I think that the memory of that feeling would be enough to enrich in my life to where I wouldn't regret, like, burning that one wish on that one day, that one power. Secondarily, a day of dominion over insects. That would be kind of cool. I was saying the other day I'd love to be able to control like a little army of dragonflies to follow me around and take out the mosquitoes and deer flies as they tried to bite me. But nah, I go with flying.